The bass thundered through Velvet Rose's VIP section, but Dante Kang barely noticed. He sat in the corner booth, perfectly still amid the chaos, watching his business associate stumble through explanations about the shipment delay. Pathetic. Mr. Kang, I swear, it was the Port Authority. Enough. Dante's voice cut through the music like a blade. You have 48 hours to fix this, or I find someone who can. The mun paled and scrambled away. Dante lifted his whiskey, surveying the club with cold efficiency. He didn't come to these places for pleasure. Pleasure was a distraction he couldn't afford. Then she walked onto the stage. She moved like liquid confidence, her dark skin glowing under the lights. But it wasn't just her body that arrested him, it was the intelligence in her eyes, the way she commanded the space without desperation. She danced like she had somewhere better to be. That's Zara, his associate whispered, returned with reinforcements. New girl. Pre-med student or something. Won't do private dances. I didn't ask, Dante said, but he didn't look away. When her set ended, she descended the stairs, heading toward the dressing room. On impulse he didn't examine, Dante stood and intercepted her path. Excuse me. Her voice was honey and steel. VIP section doesn't extend to the hallway. I'd like to buy you a drink. She looked him up and down, unimpressed. I don't do private sessions. There's a sign. I'm offering conversation, not a transaction. Everything here is a transaction, mister. She waited. Kang. Recognition flickered across her face. Most people in LA's underworld knew the name. But instead of fear, her lips curved into something challenging. Well, Mr. Kang, my conversation costs $50 for 15 minutes, bar seating only. Cash up front. Dante almost smiled. Almost. He pulled out his wallet and extracted 130 minutes. She took the money, counted it, and tucked it into her bag. Smart mun. Follow me. They sat at the far end of the bar where the music was marginally quieter. She ordered water. He ordered nothing. So, Zara said, studying him, what does a mun like you want with conversation? What makes you think you know what kind of mun I am? Tailored suit, expensive watch, Korean mob connections, and you sit like you're waiting for someone to give you a reason. She sipped her water. You're either law enforcement or you run something illegal. Since cops can't afford that watch, I'm guessing the latter. You're observant. I'm alive. Same thing for women in my position. She set down her glass. Clock's ticking, Mr. Kang. Why are you here? Because rent costs money. You're smarter than this place. Her eyes flashed. This place is paying for my nursing degree. I'm 3 semesters from graduation, debt-free. That makes me smarter than half the people with diplomas and student loans. Don't romanticize my choices or judge them. There it was, the fire he'd seen on stage. I meant no disrespect. Sure you did. Rich men always do, they just dress it up pretty. She checked her phone. 18 minutes left. You want to keep apologizing or actually talk? Dante found himself genuinely intrigued. When was the last time someone spoke to him this way? Where are you from? Atlanta. You. Here. Seoul originally. Family. Dead or distant? You. Very much alive and very much in my business. She smiled for the first time, and it transformed her face. 3 sisters, 2 brothers, parents married 35 years. Sunday dinners are mandatory. That sounds. He searched for the word. Loud? Chaotic? Wonderful. She laughed. All of the above. What about you? When you're not doing whatever it is you do, what makes Dante Kang human? No one had asked him that in years. I don't know anymore. The honesty surprised them both. Zara's expression softened slightly. That's the saddest thing I've heard all week, and I work with strippers and mobsters. I'm not a mobster. Baby, I'm not judging. We all do what we do to survive. She glanced at her phone. Time's up. Dante reached for his wallet again. Another hour. Can't. I have 2 more sets and studying after. She stood, then paused. But you can come back Thursday. I work 6 to 2. Why Thursday? Because you look like you need something to look forward to, and I could use the easy money. She smiled again, dangerous and beautiful. Don't make me regret this, Mr. Kang. She walked away, and Dante sat there, feeling something he hadn't felt in 15 years, curiosity about tomorrow. He would come back Thursday, and Friday, and every night after that, telling himself it was just conversation, just a distraction. Right up until the moment it became everything. 3 months had passed since that night in Dante's penthouse, the night Zara had broken her own rules, the night everything had felt inevitable and temporary all at once. They'd agreed, one night, no strings, back to their separate worlds. Zara stared at the third positive pregnancy test lined up on her bathroom counter. Her hands shook as she gripped the sink. This couldn't be happening. She was careful. They'd been careful. Her phone buzzed. Her sister Maya's name flashed across the screen. Z, you coming to Sunday dinner or what? Mama's making your favorite. Zara's stomach lurched at the mention of food. I'm not feeling well. Girl, you've missed 3 weeks. What's going on? Nothing. Just busy with school and work. The lie tasted bitter. Zara Bennett, I know when you're lying. I'm coming over. No, but Maya had already hung up. 20 minutes later, Maya stood in Zara's bathroom doorway, staring at the tests. Oh, Z. Don't. Zara's voice cracked. Don't say anything yet. I'm still processing. Who's the father? The guy you were seeing? The one you wouldn't tell us about? Zara nodded, unable to speak. Does he know? No. And I don't know if I'm going to tell him. Maya's eyes widened. Zara. His world is dangerous, Maya. Like, actually dangerous. The kind of dangerous where people disappear. Zara wrapped her arms around herself. What if telling him puts this baby at risk? What if he tries to control everything? Or worse, what if he wants nothing to do with us? And what if he deserves to know he's going to be a father? Zara had no answer for that. Across the city, Dante sat in his office, staring at his phone. For 3 months, he'd resisted the urge to contact Zara. She'd made it clear that night was a conclusion, not a beginning. He'd agreed because involvement meant vulnerability, and vulnerability meant weakness. But he thought about her constantly. The way she'd looked at him with something other than fear. The sound of her laugh. The conversations that had started as paid transactions and evolved into something neither of them could name. His second-in-command, Min-jun, entered without knocking. We have the location for the meeting with the Ortega cartel. Good. Set it up for. Boss, are you listening? Dante realized he'd been staring at Zara's contact information, saved under a fake name. Continue. Min-jun's expression shifted to concern. You've been distracted. This isn't like you. I'm fine. Is it that woman? The dancer? Dante's gaze snapped up, cold and lethal. Watch yourself. Min-jun raised his hands. I'm just saying, getting attached is dangerous in our line of work. For you and for her. There's nothing to be attached to. It's over. Dante deleted the contact from his phone with more force than necessary. Now, about the Ortegas. His assistant knocked urgently. Mr. Kang, there's a woman here to see you. She says it's important. A Zara Bennett. Dante's blood went cold, then hot. He stood slowly. Send her in. Min-jun, out. But boss. Now. When Zara walked through his office door, she looked different. Still beautiful, still strong, but there was something fragile in her eyes that made his chest tighten. Zara. Hi. She clutched her bag like a shield. I know we said no contact, but I need to talk to you. He gestured to the chair across from his desk, but she remained standing. I'm just going to say it because there's no easy way. She took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. It's yours. I'm keeping it, and I'm not asking you for anything, but I thought you deserved to know. The words hit him like bullets. Dante stared at her, his mind reeling. That's not possible. I have test results. I'm 8 weeks along. You're the only person I've been with in over a year. No, I mean, he turned away, gripping the edge of his desk. I can't have children. Medical tests confirmed it years ago. Childhood illness, complications, it's impossible. Well, apparently medical science was wrong, because I'm definitely pregnant and you're definitely the father. Dante's world tilted on its axis. For 15 years, he'd built his life around the certainty that he would never have an heir, never have family, never have this particular vulnerability. And now, I know this is a shock, Zara continued, her voice softer now. It was for me too. But I wanted you to know. What you do with that information is up to you. I'm not trapping you or asking you to be something you're not. I couldn't not tell you. He turned to face her, this woman who'd just detonated his entire existence. What do you want from me? Nothing. Everything. I don't know. She finally met his eyes. I want this baby to be safe. I want to finish school. I want a life that doesn't involve looking over my shoulder. Can you give me that, Dante? Or will knowing you just make everything more dangerous? The question hung between them, heavy with implications neither was ready to face. I need time, he said finally. To process this. To think. You have 48 hours. Then I'm making decisions without you. She moved toward the door, then paused. For what it's worth, I didn't want this to be complicated either. But here we are. After she left, Dante stood alone in his office, the impossible truth settling over him like armor he didn't know how to wear. He was going to be a father. Everything had just changed. Dante didn't sleep for 48 hours. He sat in his study, surrounded by medical files he'd kept locked away for years, staring at words that had once felt like a life sentence: irreversible damage, 0 sperm count, infertility. The reports were 15 years old. At dawn on the second day, he called his private physician. I need tests. Full fertility panel. Today. Dr. Chen didn't ask questions. By noon, Dante was in the clinic. By evening, he had results that shattered everything he thought he knew about himself. Mr. Kang, Dr. Chen said carefully, I don't know what you were told before, but your current results show normal sperm count and motility. If there was previous damage, your body has recovered. It's rare, but not impossible, especially after significant time has passed. Dante stared at the papers. You're certain? Completely. You're fully capable of fathering children. The drive to Zara's apartment was a blur. He knocked on her door at 8 p.m., exactly 48 hours after she'd left his office. She opened it in scrubs, clearly just home from a shift. Her face was guarded. Dante. It's mine. The words came out rough. I had tests done. I can have children. The baby is mine. Something flickered across her expression. Relief, maybe, or vindication. I told you that 2 days ago. I needed to be sure. And now that you are. She crossed her arms. What do you want, Dante? To do the right thing. Her laugh was bitter. The right thing. What does that mean to you? Money? A trust fund? Visiting rights scheduled through lawyers? Marriage? The word dropped between them like a grenade. Zara stared at him, then stepped back. Get inside before someone hears you talking crazy. He entered her small apartment, so different from his penthouse, filled with textbooks and family photos and the kind of warmth his place had never known. You can't be serious, she said, closing the door. I'm completely serious. You're carrying my child. My heir. In my world, that means. Stop. She held up her hand. I'm not some prize to be claimed or a problem to be managed. We barely know each other, Dante. We had one night together. And now we're having a child together. That doesn't mean we have to get married. People co-parent successfully all the time. Not in my world. He moved closer, his voice dropping. The moment word gets out that I have a child, you both become targets. My enemies will use you to get to me. The only way to protect you is to bring you fully into my life, under my protection. So this is about protection, not partnership. It's about keeping you alive. Zara's eyes flashed. And what kind of life is that? Looking over my shoulder forever? Raising a child in fear? That's not protection, Dante. That's a prison. Then what do you suggest? His control was cracking. I can't unknow this. I can't unfeel. He stopped himself. Unfeel what? He turned away, jaw tight. I spent 15 years believing I would die alone. No family, no legacy, no one to care if I lived or died beyond what I could do for the organization. I made peace with it. I built my life around it. He faced her again. And then you walked into it and changed everything. Even before this. Zara's breath caught. Dante. I don't know how to be what you need. I don't know how to be a father or a husband or even a good man. But I know I won't walk away from this. From you. His voice was raw. So tell me what you need. Tell me what the right answer is, because I don't have one. The vulnerability in his words cracked something in Zara's armor. She sat down heavily on her couch, and after a moment, he sat beside her. I need you to understand something, she said quietly. I'm not marrying you out of fear or obligation. If we do this, if we try to build something, it has to be real. Not some transaction to legitimize your heir or keep me safe. Real partnership. Real respect. I can do that. Can you? Because partnership means I don't lose myself. I finish school. I become a nurse. I make decisions about my life and our child's life. You don't get to control everything just because you're used to being in charge. And what do I get? She looked at him, really looked at him. A chance. To be more than what you've been. To be the kind of father who's there, not just the kind who provides. To be the kind of man who doesn't have to die alone. The words hit him in a place he'd thought was long dead. I don't know if I can be that person. Then we figure it out together. Or we don't do this at all. She placed a hand on her still flat stomach. I won't raise this baby in a house without love, Dante. I won't do it. He stared at her hand, then slowly, carefully, placed his own over it. The gesture felt monumental. I'll try, he said finally. I can't promise I'll be good at it, but I'll try. That's all I'm asking. She didn't pull her hand away. But we're not getting married tomorrow. We're going to date like normal people. You're going to meet my family. I'm going to learn about your world without being thrown into it. And we're going to see if we can actually stand each other for more than one night. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. I already know I can stand you. Yeah, well, wait until you meet my mother. She smiled back, tentative but real. She's going to have questions. A lot of questions. I'll answer them. Even the one about what you do for a living. His smile faded. That will be complicated. Everything about this is complicated, Dante. But if we're doing this, we do it honestly. No more secrets. Not about anything that matters. He knew what she was asking. Full transparency meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant risk. But looking at her, at the mother of his child, at the woman who'd somehow become essential, he realized he'd already made his choice. No more secrets, he agreed. It was a promise he hoped he could keep. The Bennett family home in View Park was everything Dante's world wasn't: loud, warm, and chaotic. Cars lined the driveway, children's laughter echoed from the backyard, and gospel music drifted through open windows. Dante sat in his car for a full minute, straightening his tie for the third time. You look terrified, Zara said from the passenger seat, amused. I've negotiated with cartel leaders. I don't get terrified. Baby, you haven't met my mama. She squeezed his hand. Just be yourself. Well, maybe a slightly edited version of yourself. Before he could respond, the front door burst open and a small army of people spilled out. Zara's family descended like a wave, 3 sisters, 2 brothers, various partners, and a handful of children, all talking at once. This is him. He's fine, Z. Is that a Rolex? Y'all leave the man alone before you scare him off. The last voice belonged to a tall woman in her 60s who moved through the crowd with the authority of a general. Zara's mother. Her eyes locked onto Dante with an intensity that rivaled his own. Mama, this is Dante Kang. Dante, my mother, Patricia Bennett. Mrs. Bennett. Dante extended his hand. Thank you for having me. Patricia studied him for a long moment before taking his hand. Her grip was firm. We'll see if thanks are in order after dinner. Come inside. And somebody get this man out of that jacket before he has a heat stroke. The house smelled like heaven: collard greens, cornbread, fried chicken, mac and cheese. Dante found himself seated at a massive dining table, surrounded by Bennetts, fielding questions like rapid fire. So what do you do? Asked Marcus, Zara's oldest brother, a police detective. Dante felt Zara tense beside him. I own several businesses. Import-export, real estate, investments. That's vague, Marcus observed. Marcus, Patricia warned. I'm just saying, Mama. Z shows up pregnant after months of mystery. Now here's mystery mun with vague businesses and expensive watches. Import-export from where? This from Maya, Zara's sharp-eyed sister. Primarily Korea and Japan. Electronics, automotive parts, some luxury goods. It wasn't technically a lie. Those businesses existed, legitimate fronts for the less legitimate operations. But the scrutiny made him uncomfortable in a way violence never did. And how did you two meet? Patricia asked, passing him the greens. Zara jumped in. At my work. He came in for a business meeting. At the club, Maya added flatly. The table went silent. Dante felt every eye on him. Yes, he said evenly. I noticed Zara immediately. Her intelligence, her confidence. We talked. It became more. You got my daughter pregnant after knowing her how long? Patricia's voice could cut glass. Mama, Zara started. No, let him answer. Dante met Patricia's gaze directly. Not long enough to do this right. I take full responsibility for that. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. Pretty words, Marcus muttered. They're true words. Dante's voice hardened slightly. I understand your suspicion. If I had a daughter, I'd be worse. But Zara isn't a mistake I'm trying to fix. He stopped, surprised by the emotion in his throat. She's everything I didn't know I needed. Zara's hand found his under the table. Patricia studied him for another long moment, then nodded slowly. We'll see. Pass the chicken. Dinner continued, tension easing gradually. The younger nieces and nephews warmed to Dante first, fascinated by his stories about soul, carefully edited for young ears. Zara's father, Robert, a retired teacher, engaged him in a surprisingly deep conversation about Korean history. After dinner, Patricia cornered Dante in the kitchen while he helped clean up, something his staff usually handled. You love her, Patricia said. It wasn't a question. Dante's hands stilled on the dish he was washing. I'm learning how. That's an honest answer. She handed him another plate. My daughter is strong, but she's not invincible. Whatever world you come from, and I'm not naive, Mr. Kang, I see what you are. It can't touch her or that baby. You understand me? Completely. Good. Because if you hurt her, you'll have to answer to me. And I promise you, I'm scarier than whatever you're used to. Dante believed her. Later, on the back porch, Zara's siblings surrounded him. Marcus remained skeptical, but the others seemed cautiously accepting. You really care about her, Maya said, watching him watch Zara through the window as she laughed with their mother. Yes. What happens when your business causes problems? Because it will. Men like you, it always does. Dante turned to face her fully. Then I handle it. They never touch her. You can't control everything. Watch me. The certainty in his voice made Maya pause. She's changing you already. I can see it. Is it that obvious? To people who know what to look for. She smiled slightly. Don't make me regret not warning her away. Inside, Patricia pulled Zara aside. He's dangerous. I know, Mama. But he's trying not to be. For you. Patricia touched her daughter's face. That's either the best thing or the most dangerous thing of all. You be careful, baby girl. I will. As they drove back to Zara's apartment, Dante felt exhausted in a way combat never made him. You survived, Zara teased. Barely. Your mother is terrifying. She liked you. If she didn't, you wouldn't have made it past the door. Zara laced her fingers through his. Thank you for trying. I know that wasn't easy. Nothing about this is easy. He brought her hand to his lips. But I meant what I said. I'm not going anywhere. Even after Marcus ran your license plate? Dante's head snapped toward her. He what? He's a cop. Did you expect anything less? She grinned. Whatever he found, it wasn't enough to arrest you, so I'm counting that as a win. Dante made a mental note to have his legal team review his public records. Again. Your family loves you, he said quietly. They do. Loudly and inconveniently, but they do. She squeezed his hand. Think you can handle that? Because they're part of the package. He thought about his empty penthouse, his solitary meals, his life built on isolation and control. Then he thought about the chaos and warmth of the Bennett house, the way they'd argued and laughed and protected each other. I want to learn, he said. And for the first time in 15 years, Dante Kang wanted to belong to something other than the organization that owned him. The question was whether he could break free before it destroyed everything he was trying to build. The black SUV appeared in Zara's rearview mirror on a Tuesday afternoon. She was driving home from campus, exhausted from a pharmacology exam, when she noticed it had been following her for the past 6 blocks. Her heart hammered. She changed lanes. It changed lanes. She grabbed her phone and called Dante. Someone's following me, she said without preamble. Black SUV, tinted windows, been on me since I left school. Stay on the line. What's your location? His voice went cold and sharp. She rattled off the intersection. Dante, I'm scared. I know. Keep driving. Don't go home. Head toward Century City. Stay in populated areas. I'm sending people now. Within minutes, 2 of Dante's vehicles flanked her car, forcing the SUV to back off. By the time she pulled into a shopping center parking lot, she was shaking. Dante's men surrounded her car while he screeched up in his own vehicle. He pulled her door open and she fell into his arms. "I've got you," he murmured. "You're safe." "Who was that?" His jaw clenched. "Let me handle it." "No." She pulled back. "You promised no secrets." "Who was that?" Dante glanced at his men, then guided her to his car for privacy. "Word got out. About you, about the baby. My rivals are testing me, seeing if you're a weakness they can exploit." "So I am a weakness?" "No. You're everything." He gripped her hands. "Which makes you a target. I knew this would happen eventually, I just hoped." "Hope what?" "That you could keep me in a bubble." Zara's voice rose. "I have school, Dante. I have work, family. I can't live in hiding. I'm not asking you to hide. I'm asking you to let me protect you." "How?" "Bodyguards following me everywhere. Checking under my car for bombs. This is insane. This is my world." His control cracked. "I told you it was dangerous. You said you could handle it." "I didn't know handling it meant being hunted." Tears streamed down her face. "I can't do this. I can't raise a baby like this." The words hit him like bullets. "Zara, take me to Maya's. I need space. I need to think." The drive to Maya's apartment was silent and terrible. When he stopped, Zara turned to him. "Figure this out, Dante. Make it safe, or make a choice. Because I won't live in fear, and I won't let our child live in fear either." For 3 days, Zara stayed at Maya's while Dante's world imploded. His second-in-command, Minjun, found him in his office at 2 a.m., staring at surveillance footage of Zara's apartment. "You're going to burn out the cameras watching her sleep," Minjun said. "She's at her sister's." "I know. I'm the one who stationed guards there." Minjun sat down. "We identified the tail. Park faction, testing your defenses. They're circling because word is you're distracted." "I'm not distracted. You're in love. In our world, that's the same thing." Minjun leaned forward. "They think the woman and child make you vulnerable. You need to prove them wrong or eliminate the vulnerability." Dante's head snapped up, eyes deadly. "Finish that thought carefully." "I'm not suggesting you eliminate them. I'm saying bring them fully under your protection. Marry her publicly, claim the child as your heir. Make it clear that touching them means war with the entire Kang organization. Make them untouchable. She doesn't want that life. She doesn't have a choice anymore. Neither do you." Minjun's voice softened. "You're already all in, boss. You're just pretending you have an exit." After Minjun left, Dante sat in the darkness, wrestling with the truth. He'd thought he could have both, Zara and his empire. But his world was fire, and everything it touched burned. His phone buzzed. A text from Zara. "Maya's making me talk to you." Her apartment. 1 hour. Maya opened the door with a warning glare. "You have 30 minutes. Make them count." Zara sat on the couch, arms wrapped around herself. She looked exhausted. "I've been thinking," she said before he could speak. "About what you said. About your world, about danger, about protection." She met his eyes. "I was naive. I thought I could take the parts of you I wanted and ignore the rest. But that's not how this works, is it?" "No. So here's what I need to know. Can you get out? Can you leave that world behind, or is it permanent?" The question he'd been dreading. "It's complicated. People don't just leave organizations like mine. There are obligations, debts, knowledge that makes you a liability if you walk away. So you're trapped." "I'm bound. But not forever. If I'm strategic, if I transition properly, build legitimate businesses, install the right successor, it's possible. But it takes time." "How much time?" "A year. Maybe 2. Zara laughed bitterly. "Our baby will be here in 7 months, Dante. What happens until then?" "Maximum security. Protected safe house, vetted staff, guards. I know it's not what you want." "You're right. It's not." She stood, pacing. "But what I want doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because staying at Maya's isn't safe either. Going back to my apartment isn't safe. Nowhere is safe unless you make it safe." "I will. I swear to you. I'm not done." She stopped, facing him. "I'll agree to protection. I'll move into a secure location. But you make me 3 promises right now, or I disappear so far into witness protection you'll never find me. Name them. 1. You start transitioning out of this life today. Not in a month, not when it's convenient. Today. I want to see concrete steps. Done. 2. I finish school. No matter what, I get my degree. You don't get to make me dependent on you. Agreed. 3. The minute our baby is born, you're out. Completely out. I don't care if you have to burn your whole empire down. My child doesn't grow up with a father in this life. That's non-negotiable. Dante's chest tightened. She was asking him to give up everything he'd built, everyone he'd been. But looking at her, at the mother of his child, at the woman who'd become his reason for wanting more, he realized he'd already made that choice the moment he put his hand over hers on her stomach. I promise. All 3. He moved closer. But I need you to promise me something too. What? Don't shut me out. I know I'm asking you to live in a cage temporarily. I know it's not fair. But let me be in there with you. Let me go to doctor's appointments, build the nursery, feel the baby kick. Let me be a father, even if I'm a terrible one. Zara's eyes filled with tears. You're not terrible. You're just impossible. I know, but I'm your impossible. He cupped her face. And I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make it safe. I'm going to give you and our baby the life you deserve. She leaned into his touch. You better. Because I'm trusting you, Dante. Don't make me regret it. I won't. As he held her, Dante made silent calculations. Transitioning out meant exposing vulnerabilities. It meant trusting people he'd never trusted before. It meant becoming the target instead of the threat. But for her, for their child, he'd walk through fire. He just hoped they'd survive the flames. The safe house was a sprawling estate in Pacific Palisades, beautiful, secure, and felt like a gilded cage. Zara moved in at 14 weeks pregnant, and Dante moved in the next day. You don't have to stay here, she said, watching him unpack in the guest room. Yes, I do. He hung up a suit. You said don't shut you out. This works both ways. She hadn't expected that. What about your penthouse? Your work. I have offices everywhere. The penthouse is just a place I sleep. He turned to face her. This is where you are. So this is where I am. Something warm unfurled in Zara's chest. Over the next weeks, they fell into an unexpected rhythm. Dante worked from home most days, taking calls in Korean and Japanese that Zara pretended not to analyze. She studied for finals, her textbooks spread across the massive dining table while he worked on his laptop across from her. You're staring, she said one afternoon, not looking up from her pharmacology notes. You're beautiful when you're concentrating. I'm bloated and nauseous. Try again. You're carrying my child. That makes you the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. She finally looked up. He wasn't smiling, wasn't charming her. He meant it. You're getting better at this, she admitted. At what? Saying what you feel instead of what you think I want to hear. Dr. Morrison's advice. At her confused look, he added, I hired a therapist. Someone who specializes in career transitions and family dynamics. Zara's jaw dropped. You're in therapy? You asked me to change. I'm trying to learn how. He looked almost embarrassed. She's helping me understand why I isolate, why I control everything. Apparently, childhood trauma and organized crime don't make for healthy relationship patterns. Dante Kang, are you being sarcastic about your own therapy? Dr. Morrison says humor is a defense mechanism. Zara laughed so hard she cried. When she finally caught her breath, she reached across the table for his hand. I'm proud of you. His fingers tightened around hers. Don't be yet. I'm still terrible at most of this. But you're trying. That's what matters. The first doctor's appointment was at 16 weeks. Dante sat in the waiting room, surrounded by couples, looking like he was preparing for battle. Relax, Zara whispered. It's an ultrasound, not an execution. I've never done this before. Neither have I. We'll figure it out together. In the examination room, the technician squeezed gel on Zara's small bump. Dante stood frozen as the screen flickered to life. There's your baby, the technician said cheerfully. Dante stared at the grainy image, at the tiny form moving on the screen. That's our baby. Zara's voice was soft. The technician pointed out features, the head, the spine, tiny hands. Strong heartbeat. Everything looks perfect. Would you like to know the sex? Zara looked at Dante, What do you think? His voice cracked. He cleared his throat. Yes. I want to know. It's a girl. The world tilted. Dante's hand found Zara's, gripping tight. A daughter. He was going to have a daughter. Do you want to hear the heartbeat? The technician asked. The sound filled the room, rapid, strong, impossibly real. Dante's free hand pressed against his mouth. His eyes were wet. Dante. Zara whispered. I'm okay. But he wasn't. He was shattered and rebuilt in the same moment. A girl. Yeah. Zara's own tears fell. A girl. In the car afterward, Dante sat silent, gripping the ultrasound photo. Talk to me, Zara said. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to. He stopped. My daughter. Our daughter. I won't let anything happen to her. To either of you. Whatever it takes. I know. She touched his face. But she doesn't need you to be invincible, Dante. She needs you to be present. To be real. What if I can't be what she needs? What if you already are? That night, Dante found Zara in the nursery they'd started preparing, a room filled with paint samples and furniture catalogs. She stood at the window, one hand on her stomach. Can't sleep, he asked. She's active tonight. I think she knows we're talking about her. She smiled. Want to feel? He crossed the room, hesitant. I don't know how. She took his hand and placed it on her stomach. They waited. Then, a flutter, soft but unmistakable. Dante's breath caught. Was that? That was her. He sank to his knees, both hands on Zara's stomach now, waiting for it again. When the next flutter came, he pressed his forehead against her, overcome. Hey, little one, he whispered. I'm your father. I don't know what I'm doing, but I promise I'm going to try. I'm going to be better than my father was. I'm going to be here. Zara's hands tangled in his hair, her own tears falling. This moment, this raw, beautiful moment, was more intimate than anything they'd shared before. When he looked up, she was watching him with something that looked like love. Stay with me tonight, she said softly. Not in the guest room. Here. With us. Zara. I'm not asking for anything else. Just stay. I sleep better when you're close. He stood, cupping her face. So do I. That night, they lay together in her bed, his hand on her stomach, feeling their daughter move between them. No walls, no armor, just two people learning to be vulnerable. Dante. Zara whispered in the darkness. I think I'm falling for you. Not the idea of you, not the father of my baby. You. The man who goes to therapy and cries at ultrasounds and talks to our daughter like she already knows you. His arms tightened around her. I fell for you the first night you made me pay for conversation. I just didn't know it yet. When did you know? When you walked into my office and told me you were pregnant. When you stood there, terrified but strong, and demanded I step up or step aside. He kissed her temple. That's when I knew I'd follow you anywhere. Even out of your world. Especially out of my world. She turned in his arms, finding his lips in the dark. The kiss was slow, deep, full of promise and possibility. We're really doing this, she murmured against his mouth. We're really doing this. Outside, guards patrolled the perimeter. Threats still circled. The transition out of his organization was messy and dangerous. But in this room, in this moment, they were just two people building something neither had planned but both desperately wanted. A family. A future. A chance at something real. And for the first time in his life, Dante believed it was possible. At 22 weeks, Zara's belly had become undeniable. She'd finished her semester with straight A's and was spending more time preparing the nursery. Dante was in meetings constantly, dismantling his empire piece by careful piece. But tonight was different. Tonight, she was meeting his world. I don't like this, Dante said for the third time, adjusting his tie in the mirror. You promised transparency. That means I understand what you're leaving behind. Zara smoothed her black maternity dress. Besides, it's just dinner with your business associates. These aren't associates. They're sharks. He turned to her. Stay close to me. Don't drink anything I don't hand you. Don't go anywhere alone. Dante, you're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. These people smile while they plan your death. He softened, touching her face. But I need them to see you. To see that you and our daughter are real. It makes the transition easier if they understand why. The restaurant was exclusive, closed to the public for the evening. A dozen men and 3 women sat at the long table, his inner circle. They stood when Dante entered, their eyes tracking to Zara with predatory interest. "Everyone, this is Zara Bennett, my fiancée." The lie rolled off his tongue smoothly. They'd agreed to the fiction for tonight. "Zara, these are my business partners." Minjun smiled warmly. "Ms. Bennett, a pleasure. We've heard so much about you." "All good things, I hope," Zara said, taking the seat Dante held out. "He talks about nothing else," said a woman named Yuki, her smile sharp. "It's nauseating, really. Our fearsome leader, domesticated." "Not domesticated," Dante said coolly. "Evolved." Dinner was a minefield. Zara felt every eye dissecting her, weighing her worth, calculating her weaknesses. The conversation danced around legitimate business, but she heard the subtext in every pause, every careful word choice. "So, Ms. Bennett," said an older man named Chun. "What do you do?" "I'm a nursing student. 1 semester left." "Admirable. And after the baby?" "I'll finish my degree and start working. Probably pediatrics." Yuki laughed. "You plan to work? With Dante's resources?" "I plan to use my education. I didn't study for 4 years to become a housewife." Respect flickered in several faces. Dante's hand found hers under the table. "Your family must be proud," Minjun said. "Tell us about them." It was a test. Zara understood immediately. They were mapping her connections, her vulnerabilities. "My family is everything to me," she said carefully. "My parents have been married 35 years. 5 siblings, all close. They're the reason I understand the value of loyalty." The message was clear. Hurt me, and you hurt people who matter. People who will notice. Chen studied her with new interest. "You're smarter than you look." "I'm exactly as smart as I look. Most people just don't look carefully enough." Dante's grip tightened on her hand, pride and worry mixed together. After dinner, Dante stepped away to take a call, leaving Zara with Minjun. "You're good for him," Minjun said quietly. "I wasn't sure at first, but I see it now. He's been half dead for years. You brought him back to life. Is that why you're helping him get out?" "I'm helping him get out because he's my friend. Because he deserves a chance at something besides this." Minjun glanced at where Dante stood, phone to his ear. "But others won't see it that way. They'll see betrayal. Weakness. Be careful, Ms. Bennett. The next few months will be the most dangerous." "He told me." "Did he tell you that 3 people have already tried to kill him since he announced his transition?" Zara's blood went cold. "What?" "He wouldn't. He doesn't want you to worry." Minjun's expression was grave. "But you should know what you're asking him to sacrifice. Every step away from this world makes him vulnerable. He's doing it anyway. For you." Before she could respond, Dante returned, his face dark. "We're leaving. Now." In the car, Zara touched his arm. "What happened?" "Park faction made a move. Hit one of my warehouses, injured 3 of my men." His jaw was tight. "It's starting." "What's starting?" "The power struggle. They think I'm weak, that I'm abandoning my territory. They're testing me, seeing if I'll fight back." "Will you?" "I have to. If I don't, they'll see it as surrender. They'll come after everything I have left." He looked at her. "Including you." Fear crawled up Zara's spine. "Minjun said people have tried to kill you." Dante shot a dark look at the car ahead where Minjun rode. "He shouldn't have told you that." "Why?" "Because you were going to keep it secret." Her voice rose. "You promised no more secrets, Dante." "I promised to protect you. That includes protecting you from worrying about things I can handle." "You can't handle it if you're dead." The word hung between them, terrible and true. "I'm not going to die," he said quietly. "You can't promise that." "No. But I can promise I'll do everything in my power to come home to you and our daughter every night." Zara pressed her hands to her face. "This is insane. This whole thing is insane." "I know." He pulled the car over, turning to face her. "You can still walk away. I can put you in witness protection, somewhere they'll never find you. You and the baby, safe. I won't fight you on it. And you?" "I stay. I finish what I started. Alone." "That's not an option." "Zara." "No." She grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. "We're in this together. You don't get to martyr yourself. We find another way." "There might not be another way." "Then we make one." Her voice broke. "I can't lose you, Dante. Not now. Not when I'm just starting to believe this is real. He kissed her, desperate and deep. It's real. All of it. I love you. The words shocked them both. They'd danced around it, implied it, felt it. But this was the first time either had said it out loud. Say it again, she whispered. I love you, Zara Bennett. I love our daughter. I love the life we're building. He rested his forehead against hers. And I will burn this entire world down before I let it touch either of you. I love you too. Tears streamed down her face. Even though you're impossible and infuriating and you're going to give me a heart attack before this baby is born. He laughed, raw and real. We're quite a pair. Yeah, we are. As they drove home, Zara's hand on her belly, she felt their daughter kick. Strong and insistent, like she was reminding them what they were fighting for. They would survive this. They had to. Because the alternative was unthinkable. At 28 weeks, Zara woke to find Dante's side of the bed cold. She found him in his office at 3 a.m., surrounded by documents, a half-empty bottle of whiskey on the desk. How long have you been up? She asked from the doorway. Couldn't sleep. He didn't look away from the papers. Go back to bed. Not without you. She came closer, seeing the exhaustion carved into his face. Dante, when's the last time you slept a full night? I don't know. A week. 2. He rubbed his eyes. The Park faction hit another shipment. Chen's nephew got caught in crossfire, he's in ICU. And the feds are sniffing around my legitimate businesses because someone tipped them off. Let me help. You can't. This is my mess. It's our mess. We're supposed to be partners, remember? She sat on the edge of his desk. Talk to me. He finally looked at her, and she saw the cracks in his armor. I'm losing, Zara. Every move I make to get out, they counter. Every business I try to legitimize, they corrupt. Every person I trust, his voice broke. Minjun told me today that Yuki approached him. Offered him my position if he'd turn on me. What did he say? He told me about it. But how long before someone doesn't? Before the money's too good or the threat's too real? He stood, pacing. I promised you I'd be out before the baby comes. We have 12 weeks. 12 weeks to dismantle an empire I spent 15 years building, while fighting off vultures and keeping you both alive. So we changed the plan. There is no other plan. There's always another plan. She stood, moving into his space. You're thinking like a kingpin. Think like a father instead. What does that mean? It means you don't have to win. You just have to survive. She took his hands. What if you give them what they want? Zara, hear me out. You're transitioning out, right? So transition faster. Pick a successor now. Someone strong enough to hold the territory, loyal enough not to hunt you. Give them the empire, take your exit payment, and walk away. It's not that simple. Why not? Because they'll never let me go. I know too much. I've made too many enemies. The only reason I'm alive is because I'm powerful. The moment I'm not, then we disappear. Her voice was steady. New city, new names, new life. Your legitimate businesses can run themselves. We take our daughter and we vanish. Dante stared at her like she was speaking another language. You'd do that? Leave your family, your school, everything. For you. For her. She placed his hand on her belly, where their daughter pressed against her palm. In a heartbeat. But only if it's really leaving, Dante. Not halfway out. Not 1 foot in each world. All the way out. He closed his eyes, feeling his daughter move under his hand. Minjun could hold it. He's smart, respected. If I positioned it right, made him look strong. Then do it. Tomorrow. It'll cost me everything. All my power, most of my money, every connection I have. But you'll be alive. We'll be together. Isn't that worth more? The truth of it hit him. For 15 years, power had been everything. Now, standing here with Zara, feeling his daughter kick, power felt meaningless. I'll talk to Minjun in the morning. She kissed him, soft and grateful. Come to bed. You need rest. In a minute. I need to make some calls, set things in motion. Dante. I promise. 1 hour, then I'm there. She left reluctantly. Dante picked up his phone, then set it down. Picked up the whiskey, then set it down too. He stood at the window, looking out at the city he'd conquered and was now abandoning. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Mr. Kang. A woman's voice, cold and familiar. Yuki, we should talk. There's nothing to discuss. Not even the fact that I know where Zara's family lives. Her parents' house in View Park, her sister Maya's apartment in Culver City, her brother Marcus's precinct. Ice flooded his veins. If you touch them, I won't have to. Not if you're reasonable. Her voice was silk over steel. You're making a mess of your exit, Dante. People are getting hurt. Money's being lost. Order is crumbling. So here's my offer. You disappear quietly, today, right now. No successor, no transition plan, no goodbyes. You just vanish with your little family, and I take over. Clean, simple. And if I refuse, then I make sure you have nothing left to protect. I'll start with the brother, the cop. Tragic accident. Then maybe a fire at the parents' house. And Zara. Yuki's voice dropped to a whisper. I'll make sure she watches. Dante's hand clenched around the phone. You'd start a war. I'd end one. Your sentimentality has made you weak, Dante. Everyone sees it. I'm just the first to act on it. She paused. You have until sunrise. Disappear, or I make them all disappear for you. The line went dead. Dante stood frozen, rage and terror warring inside him. This was the moment he'd feared, when his two worlds collided and innocent people became casualties. He could call his men, fortify the Bennett house, put guards on everyone Zara loved. But that would just make them prisoners. Or targets. He could fight back, unleash everything he had against Yuki. But war meant time, and time meant exposure. More chances for something to go wrong. Or he could do what Yuki demanded. Disappear. Right now. Wake Zara and run, leaving everything behind. His daughter kicked against his palm where it still rested on Zara's belly in his memory. His daughter, who would be born in 12 weeks. Who deserved a father who could protect her. He'd promised Zara no more secrets. But if he told her about this threat, she'd want to fight. She'd want to warn her family, protect them. And that would put them all in more danger. For the first time in 15 years, Dante Kang didn't know what to do. So he made the only choice he could live with. He started packing. When Zara woke 3 hours later, she found a note on his pillow. I'm sorry. This is the only way to keep you all safe. Trust me. I love you. D. His closet was empty. His office cleared out. The guards were gone. And Dante had vanished into the night, taking all his promises with him. Zara's scream shattered the morning silence. Zara sat in Maya's apartment, numb with fury and heartbreak. 3 days. Dante had been gone for 3 days with no word, no explanation beyond that cryptic note. I'm going to kill him, Maya said for the 100th time. When he shows up, and he will, I'm going to actually kill him. Get in line, Marcus growled. He'd been running searches, calling in favors, trying to track Dante down. Nothing. The Mun had vanished like smoke. Zara's phone rang. Unknown number. Her heart leaped. Dante. No, Ms. Bennett. This is Yuki Tanaka. We met at dinner. The woman's voice was smooth. I think we should talk. About Dante's departure. What do you know? Zara demanded. Everything. Meet me at Catalyst Coffee on Wilshire in 1 hour. Come alone, or your family starts having accidents. The line went dead. Absolutely not, Marcus said when she told them. This is obviously a trap. Then come with me. Stay hidden, but come. Zara stood, grabbing her keys. This woman knows where Dante is. I'm going. Yuki sat at a corner table, elegant and dangerous. Zara spotted Marcus positioned near the door, 2 of his off-duty cop friends scattered around the cafe. Ms. Bennett. Thank you for coming. Yuki gestured to the seat across from her. How are you feeling? The baby. Cut the pleasantries. Where is he? Honestly, I don't know. He disappeared very thoroughly. Yuki sipped her coffee. But I know why he left. I made him. Rage flooded Zara. You threatened him. I threatened you. All of you. Yuki's smile was cold. Your parents, your siblings, your unborn child. I gave him a choice, vanish alone, or watch everyone he loves die. He chose wisely. You're a monster. I'm practical. Dante was destroying an empire because he fell in love. Very romantic, very stupid. Yuki leaned forward. Men like him don't get happy endings, Ms. Bennett. They get bullets or prison. I offered him a third option. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to understand it's over. He's not coming back. Even if he wanted to, I've made sure he can't. I have people watching your family. If he resurfaces, they die. Yuki's expression hardened. Move on. Raise your baby. Forget Dante Kang ever existed. And if I don't, then you're as foolish as he is. Yuki stood. This is mercy, Ms. Bennett. Don't waste it. After she left, Marcus rushed over. We got it all. She just confessed to multiple counts of extortion and terroristic threats. He held up his phone, still recording. We can arrest her right now. No. Zara's mind raced. Not yet. If you arrest her, her people still come after my family. We need leverage. Real leverage. What are you thinking? I need to talk to Minjun. Minjun agreed to meet at a neutral location, a park in Koreatown. He looked haggard, guilt written across his face. I should have protected him better, Minjun said. I knew Yuki was planning something, but I didn't think. Where is he? Zara interrupted. I don't know. He contacted me once, told me to take over the organization, then nothing. He's completely off-grid. Can you find him? Maybe. But Ms. Bennett, if I do, if he comes back, Yuki will follow through on her threats. She's already eliminated 2 other rivals this week. She's consolidating power fast. What if Yuki wasn't in power anymore? Minjun studied her. What are you proposing? You want to lead the organization, right? Take it legitimate, like Dante planned. It's what he wanted for me, yes. Then help me take Yuki down. We get evidence of everything, the threats, the murders, the extortion. We hand it to the feds, let them tear her apart. Then you step in, clean house, and finish what Dante started. That's incredibly dangerous. I'm carrying Dante Kang's daughter. Dangerous is my baseline now. Zara's voice was steel. I'm not letting that woman win. I'm not raising my baby without her father because some psychopath wanted power. So are you going to help me, or do I do this alone? Minjun smiled slowly. Dante was right about you. You're terrifying when you're angry. You have no idea. Over the next week, Zara became someone she didn't recognize. She wore a wire to meetings with Yuki's associates, pretending to negotiate Dante's assets. She used her nursing school connections to access medical records that proved Yuki had poisoned a rival. She convinced Marcus to build a federal case that even corrupt cops couldn't ignore. And every night, alone in her bed, she talked to her daughter. Your daddy is out there somewhere, scared and alone, thinking he's protecting us, she whispered. But he's wrong. We protect each other. That's what family does. And we're going to bring him home. At 32 weeks, heavily pregnant and exhausted, Zara sat in a federal prosecutor's office with Marcus, Minjun, and enough evidence to dismantle Yuki's entire operation. This is substantial, the prosecutor said, flipping through documents. Racketeering, murder conspiracy, extortion. We can arrest her today. Do it, Zara said. And when you do, make sure it's public. Loud. I want everyone in that world to know she's done. Ms. Bennett, you understand you'll need protection. Yuki's associates will fall in line under Minjun's leadership. Isn't that right? Minjun nodded. I've already reached out to key players. They're ready to flip the moment she's in custody. Most of them never wanted her anyway. Then we have a deal. The prosecutor extended his hand. We move tomorrow morning. That night, Zara recorded a video message on her phone. Dante, if you're out there, if you're watching, it's over. Yuki's done. She can't hurt us anymore. So please, please come home. Our daughter needs her father. And I need you. I love you. Come home. She posted it everywhere, social media, news sites, anywhere he might see it. Then she waited. At 4 a.m., her bedroom door opened. She woke, reaching for the panic button. It's me. Dante stood in the doorway, thinner, exhausted, his eyes haunted. But alive. You're here, she whispered. I saw your video. I saw the news about Yuki's arrest. He moved closer, falling to his knees beside the bed. Zara, what did you do? What you couldn't. I fought back. She touched his face, making sure he was real. You left me. I had to. You left me. Her voice broke. You promised no more secrets, no more running, and you left me pregnant and alone because you thought you knew better. She was going to kill your family. So you made me think you'd abandoned us. Do you know what these 3 weeks have been like? Wondering if you were dead. If you'd decided we weren't worth it. Tears streamed down her face. I had to take down a mob boss while 8 months pregnant because you didn't trust me enough to fight beside you. I was protecting you. I didn't need protection. I needed my partner. She grabbed his shirt, pulling him close. Don't you ever do that again. Don't you ever decide what's best for us without me. We're in this together, or we're not in it at all. He was crying now too, broken open. I'm sorry. God, Zara, I'm so sorry. I thought if I left, you'd be safe. Safe isn't the same as happy. Safe isn't the same as whole. She pressed his hand to her belly. Your daughter has been looking for you. She kicks whenever she hears your voice on old videos. She knows you're missing. Dante felt his daughter move, strong and insistent, and something in him shattered and healed at once. I'm here now, he promised. I'm here, and I'm not leaving again. Ever. Good. Because you're not allowed to miss the birth of your daughter. She pulled him onto the bed, into her arms. We have 8 weeks to finish this transition, Dante. Together this time. Together, he agreed. And finally, they both believed it. At 39 weeks and 3 days, Zara stood in the finished nursery, one hand on her aching back, watching Dante assemble the last piece of furniture, a rocking chair he'd insisted on building himself. You know we could have just bought one already assembled, she said. This is better. I'm making something for her. He looked up, sweaty and determined. How's that contraction? False alarm. 4th one today. She moved to the window. 8 weeks since he'd come back, 8 weeks of healing and rebuilding. Minjun called. The last of Yuki's associates took plea deals. It's really over. It's really over, Dante confirmed. He stood, wiping his hands. The businesses are clean, transferred to legitimate holding companies. I'm officially retired. How does it feel? Terrifying. Liberating. Strange. He came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her massive belly. But right. It feels right. Their daughter kicked hard, as if agreeing. That night, at 2 a.m., Zara's water broke. Dante. Dante. He bolted awake, instantly alert. What? What's wrong? It's time. The baby. She's coming. For a man who'd faced down killers without flinching, Dante went white. Now. Right now. Yes, now. Get the bag, call my mom, and for God's sake, put on pants. The drive to the hospital was chaos. Patricia's voice on speakerphone talked them both down from panic while Dante ran 2 red lights. 18 hours later, at 8:47 p.m., Dante held his daughter for the first time. She was impossibly small, impossibly perfect, with a shock of dark hair in her mother's nose. When she opened her eyes, they were dark and alert, studying him with serious intensity. Hello, little one, he whispered, his voice breaking. I'm your father. I've been waiting to meet you. She wrapped her tiny hand around his finger, and Dante fell apart completely. Tears streamed down his face as he stared at this miracle, this impossible gift. She's perfect, he said to Zara, who watched from the bed, exhausted and radiant. You're perfect. You made her perfect. We made her perfect, Zara corrected softly. What's her name? Patricia asked. Dante and Zara had debated for weeks. Now, looking at his daughter, Dante knew. Hope, he said. Hope Danielle Kang. Hope, Zara repeated, smiling. It's perfect. 3 days later, they brought Hope home. That first night, Dante stood at 3 a.m. with Hope against his chest, walking circles around the nursery. I know, he murmured. The world is big and scary. But I promise you, little one, you're safe. I will spend every day of my life making sure you're safe. Hope quieted, her tiny body relaxing against him. Your mother is the bravest person I know, he continued softly. She took down bad people to bring me home to you. She's going to teach you to be strong and smart and fearless. From the doorway, Zara watched, her heart full. This man had transformed completely. You're doing great, she said softly. He turned, smiling. She finally stopped crying. I think she likes my voice. She's known your voice since before she was born. Zara joined them, stroking Hope's hair. You were made to be her father, Dante. I believe it now. He kissed Hope's forehead, then Zara's lips. Thank you. For not giving up on me. For fighting when I couldn't. For giving me this. We gave each other this. 1 year later. Hope's first birthday party was beautiful chaos, the Bennett family combined with Dante's legitimate business associates and Minjun's family. The backyard of their new home in Manhattan Beach was filled with decorations and people who loved them. Hope toddled around, chasing bubbles with her cousins, her laugh infectious. She's going to be trouble, Maya predicted. Strong-willed like her mama. And stubborn like her father, Zara added, watching Dante crouch down to Hope's level, pointing out butterflies. How's nursing? Patricia asked. Zara had graduated top of her class and now worked part-time in pediatrics. Exhausting and perfect. Across the yard, Marcus approached Dante. So, legitimate businessman now. Completely legitimate, Dante confirmed. I checked. Your record's clean. Marcus's tone was grudging respect. You kept your promises. I had the right motivation. Dante watched Hope, who'd spotted him and was stumbling over with her arms up. He scooped her up, and she patted his face with sticky hands. Dada! His heart melted every single time. Minjun approached with drinks. To Dante Kang, who did the impossible, got out alive and happy. To family, Dante corrected, pulling Zara close with his free arm. The one I was born into, and the one I chose. As the sun set over Manhattan Beach, Dante stood with his daughter on his hip, his fiancée at his side, surrounded by family and friends. No guards, no threats, no shadows. Just light. Just love. Just life. Hope grabbed his nose, giggling, and Dante laughed, free and genuine and complete. A year ago, he'd been a man with no future, no family, no hope. Now he had everything. What are you thinking? Zara asked, seeing the emotion on his face. That I was so sure I'd die alone. That I'd built my whole life around that certainty. He kissed Hope's head, then Zara's temple. Thank God I was wrong. Thank God for that night at Velvet Rose, Zara teased. Thank God you charged me $50 for conversation. Best money you ever spent. Best money you ever spent, he agreed. Hope squirmed to get down, chasing after her cousins again. They watched her go, this miracle they'd made together against all odds. Ready for baby number 2? Zara asked slyly. Dante's eyes widened. Are you? Not yet. But someday. If you want. He pulled her close, kissing her deeply. I want everything with you. Every day, every challenge, every joy. All of it. Even the chaos. Especially the chaos. And as their families laughed around them, as Hope's delighted squeals filled the air, Dante Kang finally understood what he'd been missing his entire life. Not power. Not control. Not invincibility. Just this. Just love. Just home. And it was more than enough. If you enjoyed this intense romance of second chances, forbidden love, and family redemption, subscribe to get notified when new stories drop. Subscribe now and never miss a new release. Your next favorite love story is just one click away. Thank you for reading. Leave a comment and let me know what you thought of Dante and Zara's journey.